Okay, guys, let's move and take my examples now. Length and my exponential. Now, but in la, but consider the function g of x equal to 1 over 2 to the power of x. And number 8, determine the inverse of g in the form of g inverse of x. So in the sense, we are given solution. We are given g of x equal to 1 over 2 to the power of x. So i-inverse ngithe kuyaswipe, so kuzoba x equal to 1 over 2 to the power of y, and solving for y kuzoba y equal to log base ethu ku-1 over 2 x. So nansi i-inverse yethu, but kuthiwa siyibhale in the form of g inverse of x. So therefore sino g inverse of x is equal to log 1 over 2 x. Number B, could be bathi draw the next sketch graph of g and the inverse of the g in the same set of x's. So into yenzayo, step number 1, wakha ithebula, uzona ithebula la g of x. So it is x is to y, then we no negative when x equal to -1, when x equal to 0, and when x equal to 1. So asibone, if x elingana no-1, uzo-substitute to x elingana no-1 laphaya, uzobusuthola bani? Uzobusuthola if x elingana no-1, uzobusuthola u-g of u-1 elingana no-2. If x elingana no-0, uzobusuthola u-1. If x elingana no-1, uzobusuthola u-1 over 2. Then emva lokho as-checking i-inverse yakhona laphaya, g inverse of x. So nakhona you have x, you have y. So 1 2 3, you have 1 2 3. So sikhumbuleni ngithe if senze inverse bayaswipe u-x u-y no-y about x. So a-16 so uqhaye phansi uzofuna ukusubstitute la, thatha lama values uyise ko-x, uthathe lama values uyise ko-y. So into esizoba nayo uzoba no-2, ube no-1, ube no-1 over 2, then ube no-1, ube no-0, ube no-1. Now let us sketch la graph u-2. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 1, we have 2, we have -1, we have -2, we have -1, we have -2, and now we have x. Here we have -x, here we have y, here we have -y, we have 0. So lapha for g of x we have -1 is to 2, -1 is to 2. Now here -1 is to 2, we have 0 is to 1, 0 is to 1, and we have 1 is to 1 over 2. We have x 1 ilente to 1 over 2. So sketching the graph here to nansi. So that is the graph of g of x. Now let us check for a graph here g inverse of x. So lapha we have x 2, x 2, y -1. Nange x 2, y -1. We have x 1, y 0. Nange we have x 1 over 2, so 1 over 2 it's between 0 and 1, so into lapha 1 over 2 is 2 1. So nanze lapha. So if you are sketching the graph, izobusima kanje. So that is the graph of g inverse of x. Now Number C, usuthi write down the domain and the range of each function. So if sikhuluma nge-domain, sikhuluma ngala igraph yakhe iqala khona ko-x igcina khona ko-x. So for u-g of x, if sibuka lapha leya graph iyaqhubeka ishona le nale graph iyaqhubeka ishona le. So leya graph njengoba ishona le iya kuma negative infinity, njengoba ishona le iya kuma positive infinity. So i-domain yethu izoba i-domain for u-g of x kuzoba x is an element usuka from negative infinity ngoba le graph iyaqhubeka njengoba ishona le shuthi wabamba wonke lama values. So from negative infinity to njengoba iya le to positive infinity. So i-domain for u-g inverse of x kwenzakalani? I-domain yala niyabona ukuthi le graph le iya approach but ayithinti la ku-0, i-approach u-0 but ayuthinti u-0, but bususuka ngala iya kuma negative, so iya kuma positive infinity. So izosuka from u-0 up until to positive infinity. So izobu x is an element from u-0 to positive infinity. And make sure ukuthi sifaka ama-round brackets la. Why sifaka ama-round bracket? It's because we don't include ama-infinities, and the two sifake i-round bracket here because we don't include u-0. Le graph le ayithinti ku-0, iyasondela ku-0, it approaches u-0 but ayithinti ku-0. And number 2, let us go and check i-range ka-g of x. So if sikhuluma nge-range siyasi-check-a la igraph yethu iqala khona ku-y igcina khona ku-y. So if sizobuka la sizothi y is an element, sesizobuka nangu-g of x isukaphi ku-y igcinaphi. Ku-y niyabona ukuthi isuka from i-approacha u-0, it's where y lingana no-0 ibisiya kuma-positive infinity. So it's when y is an element from u-0 to positive infinity. And for u-g inverse of x, then izobu y is an element. Sesobuka lana ke na ilento yethu u-y wethu uqalapho ugcinapho. Nabo le graph ishona le enzansi kuma negative infinity yaqhubeka ishona enzansi, and nale yaqhubeka ishona enzansi. So it's from negative infinity to positive infinity. So it's from negative infinity to positive infinity. Then okugcina bathi determine the values of x for which the function are either increasing or decreasing. So igraph yakho ukuze decrease or increase ngizomkhumbuza nje kwi-straight line. For i-straight line, if sibheke kanje i-straight line sethu sisuke si-increase. Why sithi ya-increase? It's because i-gradient iya-increase yakhona. Sibona ngani ukuthi i-gradient iya-increase? Bo, if usuka ngala uya ngapha kwenzekalani ko-x, o-x baya-increase, kwenzakalani kwi-graph? I-graph yakho nayo iya-increase, ishona phezulu, libele ishona phezulu, ishona phezulu. So njengoba igraph yakhe libele ishona phezulu, then le yanto siyibiza ukuthi it is an increasing function. If sizobuka ngapha sesibuka leya graph leya iya decrease, sibona ngani? If sishona le o x baya increase, but ke igraph yakho yenze njani yona? Igraph yakho iya decrease, ishona phansi, isuka la phezulu ishona phansi, ishona phansi, ishona phansi, ishona phansi. So that's why le yanto sithi iya decrease. So nakhona once u-x increase u-y wa decrease, sithi graph yakho iya decrease. Once u-x wa increase no-y wa increase, sithi graph yakho iya increase. Once u-x wa decrease no-y wa decrease, sithi graph yakho iya increase. So asibukeni ke lapha ya, if sizobuka le graph ka-g of x kwenzalani? As sishona le u-x is increasing for this one. U-x as sishona le u-x uya increase because usuka from negative 2 uya negative 1 uya ku-0. So u-x uya increase. But what about i-graph? I-graph yakhe ishonela phansi yana, ilibele incipha. So igraph yethu yalaphaya it's decreasing between what? Between negative infinity up until to positive infinity. So igraph yethu for g of x, the graph is decreasing between x is from negative infinity to positive infinity, or between x is an element from negative infinity to positive infinity. Now let us check the inverse yakhona. If sizo-check i-inverse yakhona nakhona as ushona le o-x they are increasing. If ushona ngapha o-x baya increase, so nje shona ngapha o-x bethu baya increase, but igraph yethu nale libe lishona phansi iya kuma negative infinity. Nje ishona phansi kuyaphambana futhi inkomishi, should naleya graph iya decrease between x between negative infinity to positive infinity, or it's when x is an element from negative infinity to positive infinity. Thank you.